Hey everyone, Mike here in the BFH garage. We're in the middle of a cold snap, February 2021. I have the heat cranked up in the shop and I thought it would be a great time to take a break from all the projects I've been working on to get the shop cleaned up and get a little bit more organized. One of the things I did to help out with organization was picked up a new tool chest from an auction, and what it does, it allows me to organize several junk drawers, filled with nuts, bolts, all that type of stuff, different kind of parts that I use on the Jeeps. Oddball tools, ball joint press and all that stuff can now neatly be stored away somewhere and not just sitting on top of a workbench. So with the addition of that tool chest, that freed up the rest of the workbench. So now I can work on my smaller projects up there. Added some under cabinet lighting to help out, and then I still need to finish the rest of the workbench, get that dialed in the rest of the way, get the cabinets painted, all that stuff, but that's a project for another day. The project I'm talking about today is going to be in regards to my welding table and welding setup and all that. One of the problems I currently face is when I'm working on a project, I have grinders laying around all over the place and I can't find the one I need, and everything's just a big old pain in the butt to go around and find everything on my flap disc, my cutoff wheels, things like that. So part of my organization project is going to be making a grinder rack. Now I don't want to make something that mounts on the wall because then I have to walk all the way over there to get a grinder or get my cutoff wheel. So because I work on this table a lot, I'm going to make a grinder rack that sits on top of the table and that is movable. So playing around, I decided to make a paper towel rack because I'm tired of trying to track down towels and holding, one side with a oily hand, tearing off a towel. It's a pain in the butt. Now, with this big old heavy thing, I can come up, grab a towel, and rip it off with one hand, which makes it real nice. Is it overkill? Probably, but let me tell you what, that thing is nice. I can move it around, and that gave me inspiration for a grinder rack. So my idea for the grinder rack is based on the same principle as that paper towel rack. I'm gonna put a rotor on the bottom, take an extra axle shaft I have laying around, cut off all the bearings and seals and everything, and then it's got some pretty good weight behind it. Weld the studs to the bottom, and the nice thing is, it's not gonna fall over. I can put tools all over that thing. It's got a lot of weight at the bottom side. And the best part is once I'm done, I can move it here, I can move it there, wherever my workspace is currently, I can move my grinder rack to that location. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I need to just figure out how I'm gonna do this and go from there. So I have a couple ideas. I have some scrap angle iron laying around. I'm gonna play around with that for a little bit, come up with a good idea on how I want this rack to look, and start fabbing it up. Okay, so you know the basis for my plan. I took a rotor, put an axle shaft through it, welded the studs from the other side. This is my base. Now what I wanna do is take a piece of angle iron, get it welded up here somehow, and then allow the grinders to hang off of this. And if you've looked up grinder racks online, you're gonna see they use something like this where they'll have a U shape cut into there. Well, with the 3/16 by 2-inch angle iron, grinder's gonna sit right on there. I don't have to cut any U's or any notches or anything to be, to make it be effective. Now, the one thing I don't like is that if I put this tree up here like this, it takes up a lot of space this way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a 45-degree angle into the angle iron, and I'm gonna have it go off at an angle like this, and I'll have two grinders on each side. My goal is to put the grinders down low. And so I'm gonna have a notch cut right here that'll go around the axle shaft, weld that in place. The grinders are gonna go down low, and then all of my flap disc and everything else will be up top. And you'll see what I'm talking about once I get to that point. Let's get busy cutting and welding. notch out for simplicity, I took it over to my shop press and I put a square bar in there and used the press to bend it together, and then I don't have to have a weld seam here. It's a lot cleaner look. So what I'll do is I'll weld up this gap, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up cutting out a hole that will go around that axle shaft. So weld it up and then cut a lot of it out anyway, but I want to make sure that it's good to stay in place. Finally finished with the project, and it is awesome. It's gonna work out perfect for what I need. It's gonna organize my grinder collection and all the discs that go with it in one area, so I'm really excited about that. Let's do the big reveal. It has a handle on top so I can carry it around the shop and take it to where I need. And if you'll notice, it has all these little branches off here. I'm gonna call it my grinder Christmas tree. So to give you an idea of what it looks like from the top side, so just kind of a triangular pattern on the tree things there, and that's it with the handle up top. Now, one of the things that I get frustrated with the grinders are these handles. You don't always need them, but when you do need them, you can't find them. They're either in a drawer or somewhere. So I welded a couple nuts onto the tree trunk here. And now I will have no problem finding these when I need them. So that's going to be kind of nice to keep those organized. I have a thin branch there for my oddball stuff, like my wire wheel stuff, and different discs that don't kind of go with anything else. Now to turn it around, one of the things that's always that always gets lost, is hard to find, are all of your spanner wrenches to work your angle grinders if they don't come apart real easy. So those go there nice and neat. The grinders themselves fit in no problem. This tree has room for 4 grinders. If I wanted to make another one, I could add room for more. So where my grinders go on the front side, that's where I'll put all of my cutoff wheels. And I use those a lot, so I made two branches for those. Flap discs. I could sort those by grit. miscellaneous kind of grinding wheels, and then different versions of flap disc that I may have just a couple of. So that's it right there. That is the tree in a nutshell. And it's gonna work out great for my needs. If I'm working on the table at that end, I can slide it down there, and if I'm working at this end, it comes back the other way. So it's gonna really work out well for what I'm using it for. Now the best part is, I wouldn't say the best part, but a bonus part is, I also made a matching blue towel dispenser, and you could just pull it one towel at a time. You don't have to track down your towels. It's not gonna fall off of the table, and they come off one hand. So if you have oil all over your hand, you can grab this one-handed, and life is good. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.